Updog.
Updog. Updog.
Updog Sports Talk.
Hello, and welcome to 18 through 32 of the Updog Sports Talk Mock Draft 2022
What's
edition.
up, dog?
Justin to my left, Chad beneath me. What is up, guys? We're just going to skip pleasantries and get straight into the 18th pick, the Philadelphia Eagles. Justin, pull it up.
All right, yes, let's get this thing on the move here. It is like 100 degrees upstairs in this room, and my face is turning red. So I have the Philadelphia Eagles. They see these receivers going off the board, as you would have seen in the first half of the mock draft. I have them taking Treylon Burks here. Eagles desperately need a receiver. They're going to realize they regretted not taking one at 15 and grab one here.
I actually have them taking a second round receiver, only because this is where I have them taking Jordan Davis. So, I mean, it's almost a given they need a defensive tackle. I just didn't want to give that pick away earlier. But yeah, Eagles need interior line. They need receivers. They need offensive line to replace the old offensive line that they had. So, yeah. Chad, what do you got?
Damn it.
Do we lose him?
Yeah, he dropped off.
Well, let me see if I can get him back. We're just going to keep this rolling because this is funny as hell. Okay. We got him back. All right. So who you got at 18, Chad?
It automatically kicked me. I'm sorry, guys. So the Philadelphia Eagles, I told you to get Chris Olave earlier. Matt had this guy going to him. I got Devin Lloyd from Utah going there.
Ooh, very nice.
Good
Yep.
choice, good choice.
Definitely addressing the linebacker needs. All right. I almost forgot who was next because that pick took a while. Obviously, we're a low budget show.
I feel like we're always up again. Why is it the Eagles and Saints and the Eagles and Saints again? Like
they're all like they literally each share like the like 4 picks and they traded with each other. So it's just like a wild
yeah, it's a mess.
But the Saints, they need offensive linemen. Terran Armstead left this offseason, signed with the Dolphins. So they need a replacement for him. And that replacement is Trevor Penning, the offensive tackle from Northern Iowa. I think I even saw like one scout just said he's a dick, but in a good way.
I agree with you on the offensive line. It needs to be addressed. I do think he's really talented, and for some reason, Pro Football Focus didn't have him rated high enough for me to actually put him on my board. I have Bernard Raymond going there from Central Michigan. Bigger, meatier men.
I got the Aints, and they need a quarterback because famous Jameis ain't going to make it through the season. And Taysom Hill is a glorified tight end. So I got them taking Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati.
Ooh.
I actually would like that.
It's a little reachy, but, take a quarterback. Guys,
he does have a lot of upside, and he's like Malik Willis. He has the legs, he has the arm. He wasn't a very pro-ready offense, so he can make it happen. Is my thing, being a UC fan, he had accuracy issues down the field.
Yep.
So
accuracy issues, and his release was a little slow. We saw that in the playoff game when Alabama knocked down like 15 of his passes.
If they get a receiver with the first pick, I actually don't mind Ridder there.
Yeah, for sure.
Up
next, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I have them taking Malik Willis. I think they'll find a way to make it happen. They may have to trade up to get him, but they need a quarterback. They are just absolutely in love with him. They love him more than any other team does. So I think they'll find a way to make it happen and get Malik Willis here or a different spot.
I actually think they're gonna pass up on a QB altogether. Um, I don't think they have any of the quarterbacks rated high enough in the first round. It doesn't see like they need a quarterback, but it doesn't seem they're too high on Pickett. And in mine, I have Pickett available. Um, I mean, if Willis is there, they're 100% taking him. But I still don't think they're that high. But they don't have that high of a second round pick, so he'll be gone by then. Um, I have Tyler Smith. I actually meant Taylor Penning. Uh, but we're in this scenario, we're going offensive line still anyway. So Tyler Smith from Tulsa.
So I think they're hurting. I think Pittsburgh's feeling the pain still. I mean, obviously sad, Dwayne Haskins passing and all that. But they did go out and they got Mitch Trubisky. So I really don't want to think at this point with Willis and Pickett on my board gone, them taking a quarterback at this point. I think what they do is they try and take a guy who could take over Juju Smith-Schuster's position, be that big guy on their offense. This is where I have Drake London going.
Ooh, that's an interesting pick. That's really good. Yeah, that would help them a lot. It's a good pick for the Steelers, so you guys hate this.
I think they'll mourn at quarterback for another year.
Next up is the New England Patriots. So I gotta say, I see them taking a little bit of a surprise here.
It's not a surprise. I know what you're saying.
Most people don't have him as the highest rated linebacker. But I'm Nakobe Dean here. He is one of the smartest players. Not what I thought you were going to say. Look at that. You trying to predict my pick, Matt, and you were dead wrong.
No, Justin, you are dead wrong because you know who seems like the most Patriots guy in this draft? George Karlaftis.
Yes.
He seems like a Patriots guy.
He's got a Bill Belichick name. He's got a guy.
He is their defensive end of the future. They need defensive linemen. They need to get a pass rush going. He is pretty solid frame. Kind of like a
baby. He's ready to take over that defense.
Yeah. So he's gonna eat there.
Yeah. He was my number 2 option, but Dean is just so smart. He fits Belichick's system, and Belichick seems to value linebackers over defensive linemen. So that's why I was thinking that there. But again, that was my second option. So both good picks there. Next up, the Green Bay Packers. I gotta say, obviously, we feel like they should go receiver here. They never do it. I'm tired of it. I keep picking receivers to them, and they never take one. So screw it. I'm having them take George Karlaftis here.
It is pretty easy to put a receiver here, and knowing how they've drafted in the past, they haven't drafted a receiver since like the 70s in the first round, or any skill position player for that matter. So I got just Zion Johnson. Yeah, just Jordan Love. Just Jordan. I got Zion Johnson. They need offensive linemen. Who did they lost somebody like big?
They lost their center, and then I think one of their right tackle as well.
I still have them taking Zion Johnson. I mean, you could go Lindemann. I mean, there's actually quite a few you could put on here, but I got them taking Zion Johnson.
I got them, everybody, like we said, everybody's like, they're going to take a wide receiver because Devontae's gone. That's not going to happen. They're going to take the best available player. It's what they've always done. They're going to go out there and they're going to take Nakobe Dean.
Ooh.
Factor in that defense.
Next AJ Hawk.
I think they'll get the best defensive player, and then they got a couple picks later. They'll go ahead and address that wide receiver then. But I also think it probably will, bite them in the ass eventually.
Oh yeah,
100%. Yeah. Adjust receiver with a 4th round pick like they always do. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Up next, we have the Arizona Cardinals. They desperately need someone to help them stop the run. They were terrible against the run last year. I've been taking Devontae Wyatt here. He's off some teams' boards because there's some character concerns with him. The Cardinals aren't too concerned with that, so I think they'll take him here.
I have the Cardinals taking Tyler Linderbaum. They need interior offensive linemen.
Absolutely.
Exactly. They need to give Kyler Murray a reason to come back. this is their guy.
Yeah,
they could go defense. They lost Chandler Jones. They could go defense here, but I think your priority, if you're Cliff Kingsbury, is the offense. That's your bread and butter. You can address the defense later in the draft and next year.
Yeah, dummy, go get a fucking pardon my language.
No,
go
it's
get,
okay. You got a few.
Go get that offensive lineman to protect your quarterback that's already mad at you. You know, give the man what he wants. You can't give him any more receivers. He's got like 1,000,001. You got to give him something to protect him.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Bomb.
That's a good move. And I was considering Linderbaum with that pick too, or even Zion Johnson. But I think ultimately they went defense there. Next, we have the Dallas Cowboys. This is where I see Linderbaum going. Part of the reason why their offensive line sucks so bad is because they still haven't addressed the center position since Travis Frederick suddenly retired. Linderbaum is a perfect replacement here.
I actually have them taking Nakobe Dean here. They desperately need a linebacker. They desperately need an edge rusher, but I don't have one high enough for them to take. So they could take Dean here, or they could trade back if they say edge rusher is more important. But Dean's the best player available to me, so I'm taking him.
So it was a toss-up for me. I will disagree with you, though, Matt. I think they had one of the better defenses in the league last year. And especially with a pick like Michael Parsons in the first round, I think they would go opposite this year.
But so Michael Parsons is outside.
I know.
He's inside.
I think they probably go offense this year and do something to help their broken leg quarterback. And it was either between Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson. I ended up taking Kenyon Green because personally I think he's the better talent. And I think they could use a tackle where La'el Collins left.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He may end up projecting as a guard, but either way, the Cowboys need a guard too, so they just have to fix the offensive line.
Yeah.
Up next, the Buffalo Bills. Obviously my team.
Please don't spend 20 minutes talking about this.
I will not. I promise. Okay. Bills need a corner. They haven't really done this much. Address that position in the offseason. They address everything else. I think they take Andrew Booth Jr. here from Clemson.
I've mocked him there a few times, but I think they're just going to plug up the middle and hope that their that other quarterbacks just throw up prayers. Devontae Wyatt is the best player available at this point. You got to take him, have him and Ed Oliver just making sure that no guard or center lives through an entire game.
All right, I'm going to take 20 minutes to talk about the Bills here, though.
Come on.
Let's be real here. They play in the AFC North, right? Or East, sorry. AFC East. They play in three, maybe four stadiums that are constantly getting weather, okay? So I think they're going to take someone on their offensive end that's going to carry them through games. I got them taking Kenneth Walker here, running back, power back. He's everything their offense needed last year that they didn't have. Singletary and what was the other guy's name?
Zach Moss.
He
was a bust.
They had no momentum. They had no effect really on the game. So I have them taking a guy like Kenneth Walker, a momentum shifter.
I've had Breece Hall here for a little bit, and then I was like, you know what? I don't think they address that. I think they have to go defense.
I think Kenneth Walker over Breece Hall every day, though. I mean, I think this guy is going to be a 3-down back for them.
Yeah.
They're both really good running backs. And actually, really, honestly, I think in this current situation, that Booth is off the board here.
Yeah,
Booth I think at that point, the Bills, I think at that point, we'd actually try to move back and get a running back.
All right, you're at 19 minutes, so we're moving on to the Houston Oilers.
Yes, the Houston Oilers or the Tennessee Titans. You see that big man right there, Derrick Henry. I mean, an absolute beast of running back, but he got hurt because their offensive line wasn't as good this past year. Actually, it was a freak injury. But in any case, the offensive line needs to improve. This is where Zion Johnson goes.
I actually disagree. They don't know if they're going to keep A.J. Brown. And then I have them taking Treylon Burks. Losing Julio, they're going to need another guy on the other side. Robert Woods is most likely going to be out the entire year. So they just need another guy to fill in. And Robert Woods could be their third guy 2 years from now. But they need someone there.
I'm going to go. This is going to be a little shifter. It's not offense they need. I got them taking Andrew Booth here. I think they take a corner. I think
They got toasted in the playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, they closed it a couple years ago. Dory Jackson. I mean, he hasn't really done anything for it. He's not even with them anymore, is he?
No, I don't think so. I think he's in New Jersey.
And then, year after year, they've taken these corners that they end up not investing in and letting go, or they go somewhere else. Injury or decide they don't want to play anymore. I mean, Janoris Jenkins, Dory Jackson. I mean, you could list them all.
Yeah.
But they need a cornerback bad, and they need a guy who Andrew Booth is like one of my top 3 corners in this draft. I think day one starter off the rip.
Yeah, he's looking really good. And honestly, those are both really good picks. I think actually those two might even be higher than Zion Johnson on their board. In my case, they were just both off the board. But yeah, very good options for the Titans for sure. Next, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This man still is not retired, and now he's back for revenge. I have the Buccaneers. They like to take fallers here. Someone who may not even play for them this year, but I think will end up coming back for the playoffs. David Ojobo will add.
That's a good pick.
That he will add a extra pass rush late in the year when they need it.
I've mocked him anywhere from 20 on down. I think because of his injury, for me, he's going early second round. But here, I have them filling the biggest need. And Tom Brady's been sacked more times, or for the 4th most times since 2017. I have them taking Kenyon Green.
I think Antonio Brown really hurt them. I think he left a hole that they just can't get over, because in the playoff game, I felt like Tom Brady just didn't have enough people to throw to. All injuries at receiver. So this is where I have Treylon Burks going. I think he's a great fit for their offense.
He is a great fit for their offense.
Chris Godwin together are going to be a really nice combination. So I kind of look forward to seeing that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Burks would be a really good option but obviously in my case, he wasn't on the board still. I didn't really have a first round grade on Green. But if Ojobo was off the board, they may have gone with him anyways. Next, the Green Bay Packers are back on the board again. And once again, they managed to avoid addressing the offense somehow. They see Devin Lloyd falling here because a lot of teams either needed someone else more and didn't want to address linebacker, or just didn't need a linebacker at all. So Devin Lloyd falls to the Packers. They decide to take him and once again avoid addressing the offense.
I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think they get booed so hard on the other pick that they get bullied into taking a receiver here. Jahan Dotson. They need somebody, and they need him to fill in. He's not bad. I don't think he's going to end up being like a prime number 1 receiver, but I mean, it's Aaron Rodgers. He just needs somebody who can actually who has hands and can catch the ball.
Yeah, I don't hate Dotson going there. I think he's a good receiver. I just think he's a slot, and they can find a slot all day in that core that they have. I think they're going to go. This is like I said. I think their earlier pick of a linebacker is going to hurt them in the long run, and I think they're going to go out and get a receiver. They're going to reach here because no one's left. They're going to go out and get George Pickens, and I say George Pickens because he's a possession receiver. He goes up and gets the ball. NFL bloodline. I think he'll be a great fit for that offense. You can't ever fill Devontae Adams' shoes. I mean,
no,
that's going to be a hard shoes to fill, but I think they're going to expect a lot from him.
I could see them taking Christian Watson there. He's a little bit of a project, but having Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback is going to make you instantly better. And he is a guy who can just go up and get it.
I almost said him too because they have him, like, I've read a lot that he's the most physical receiver in this draft. Yeah. So, and that's exactly kind of what they want.
I think the only reason why he's down here is because he's at North Dakota State. If he was at like an Alabama or an Ohio State or Notre Dame or UC or anything, I think he'd go higher.
Yeah. And I think the problem with Pickens is there's a lot of concerns about his maturity, if he's going to spend the time learning the playbook and stuff. But Aaron Rodgers is the kind of guy that can hold people accountable. So that's why the Packers would be a good spot for him to land. Next up, the Kansas City Chiefs. We talked about Christian Watson enough. So that's actually who I have them picking here. they're a team that's going to take a shot and someone with a high upside like Watson. He needs to work on his route running and in general, like catching the ball, just even seeing it in the air. He doesn't seem comfortable like locating the ball sometimes and drops it, but the Chiefs are the kind of team that can work on that with him for sure.
I actually have them with 1 second off of the clock taking Andrew Booth here. So the only reason why I have Booth going this low is because all these other teams have higher team needs than corner, in my opinion. So I don't think they hesitate. I think they take Booth absolutely immediately and then get that guy that just steps up for their defense because they're going to need a little bit more defense this year.
Yeah, I mean, they got 2 picks here back to back, and I really think they need a receiver pretty bad after losing all those receivers. But I don't think they're gonna be like Green Bay. They're gonna be like, nah, we'll get him in the 3rd round. It'll be cool.
Yeah,
they're gonna take a safety to fill Tyrann Mathieu's shoes here. They're gonna take Daxton Hill.
He's corner or safety, so they could put him either place, really.
Yeah. I wasn't sure what to do with him. Some character concerns and poor interviews had him drop for me.
Yeah, you go in the middle of Kansas, you're Kansas City. There ain't nothing you can do around there. He'll be fine.
Moving on to the Chiefs.
Again. Wow. Look at that.
Around the world and back again.
So with the next pick, like you guys said, they need to address defense. That's what I'm doing here. They take the edge rusher out of Penn State, Arnold BK. I think it's a little bit of a surprise because a lot of people keep talking about him. They have good reviews about him, but no one seems to be putting him in the 1st round, which tells me that only the smart teams like him. The Chiefs are a smart team, and that's why they end up taking him here at the end of the 1st round.
In my draft, Ajobu is available. I think they ponder him for a little bit, but I think they go Christian Watson. I was gonna have him go 1 pick sooner because it doesn't matter for them if they take Watson or Booth first in my draft. But I think they were like, I think they're gonna just not hesitate with Booth and then the next pick decide between Ajobu and Watson in my draft.
So once again, I said, earlier how I thought Kansas City's going to be dummies and they're not going to do what they need. They're going to take another defensive player here, and they're going to take Devontae Wyatt because he's the best available player at this point.
That's a good pick at this point. They're willing to take a chance at someone with character concerns.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last time they take someone like that.
I will say, though, I do think the Chiefs will end up trading one or both of these picks. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say they could trade both and move up and get a better receiver or a better corner.
They could want to go home,
Yeah.
So I could even see them trading up and then working the draft again and trading down later on to recoup the picks they trade away to trade up. Next up, the Cincinnati Bengals.
Can we just take 2 seconds here and just admire that the Cincinnati Bengals have the 31st pick in this draft?
Yeah.
And one last time, because I don't know if we'll ever get to see this again.
Probably
the Bengals
not.
have the first pick in the draft when we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And you know what? Since you guys are the Bengals fans here, I will let you both go first. Matt, I guess you'll go.
I have them going Kyer Elam. They absolutely loved him. They had such a great meeting with him, workouts. They've spent so much time with him. Lou, how do you say his name?
Emeril.
Yeah. He said he wants a guy with length, a guy with speed, and a guy who can change direction, go get the ball. Those are some of the qualities you look for, especially higher in the draft. This fits Big Lou's defense. Like he is a little bit of a project because he doesn't tackle, but I mean, if Apple doesn't work, then he has great cover skills and you can work Apple in on obvious rundowns.
If Apple doesn't work,
okay, well,
when?
That probably when. He'll probably make it like 3 games and then they'll bench him and then just put.
How did Eli Apple end up 1-on-1 with Cooper Kupp at the end of that game?
Because he actually called out OBJ and was actually destroying OBJ like until OBJ got hurt. And then they put him on Cooper Kupp because they were like, hey, like you want their best guy, right? and which I would have put Hilton on him instead. Even on the outside, I would have put Hilton on him, but he was really good in man coverage last year, and I think they just had faith.
I'm going to go ahead and agree with Matt here. I think they need a cornerback. And if my guy wasn't there, I would say Elam. I think he's probably going to be the one that falls to him. But, I have a little favoritism here. And I think, like I said earlier, I think this guy went to the University of Cincinnati and not Ohio State or Alabama or one of these schools because he might have some questionable off-field issues or personality issues. So that's where I have Ahmad Sauce Gardner going. I think he's a first-round cornerback for sure, but I just don't see him being a top 25 cornerback in this league. In this draft, at least. I think he'll find his way to Cincinnati. I really think one of these cornerbacks in this first round that everybody thinks is very high, whether it's Stingley or Sauce, one of them, or even Booth, I think one of them is going to fall to the late round, and that's where the Bengals could strike and get a good guy like that.
Well, that's a bold pick to say the least. I actually do have the Bengals addressing the secondary as well. I've taken Lewis Sign, the safety out of Georgia.
I don't hate that only because last year they had what's his name that came from Atlanta. Yeah, and they let him go, and then so they do need someone to fill in. So when they run nickel, they can pull Bell up and put him at the linebacker because
I thought he signed someone to fill that role.
Huh?
I thought they signed someone to fill that role.
I don't remember if they did or not. But either way, I don't mind him there, but I think a bigger need is corner. But Justin, good research.
Yeah, but obviously I wasn't too high on Elam there. Bad tackler. Florida corners have been complete busts in the NFL since Dan Mullen was there. We'll see if that gets fixed in the future.
Janoris Jenkins.
Dan Mullen wasn't there when Janoris Jenkins was in the NFL. When Janoris Jenkins went to the NFL, I'm looking at like Vernon Hargraves and C.J. Henderson. Both were complete bust.
So let's move on to the last pick of the draft, the Detroit Lions. Chad, you didn't say that in unison.
I'm not going to because it's Michigan.
I mean, yeah, but they're like the team that everyone loves because they always struggle. Good for them having the last pick of the first round, even if it was because the Rams gave it to them. I got them taking a corner here. It's a bit of a reach, but at this point, you're at the end of the first round. Kyler Gordon, the corner out of Washington.
That's not a bad pick for them. I've seen Matt Corral here. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't like it as much as I would, I don't know, maybe any quarterback in next year's draft or even Desmond Ridder here. But I have them taking Lewis Sign. They need to address their secondary, and to give Okudah some help over the top, they got to go safety.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a lot of ways you can go with Detroit. Obviously, I taking Kayvon Thibodeau earlier, so they addressed the front defense. So here I had them taking Kaiir Elam. And the only reason I had him taking Elam because it was like two players I was really hard pressed to not pick. It was him and David Ojabo. And I think Ojabo's injury is really going to hurt him in this draft. I think probably going to fall second, third day maybe.
Yeah.
That Achilles is not an easy one to come back from.
No.
So, for sure.
That's why I think that's why I didn't have him in the first round. He has the talent to go top 10, and that would have changed everything if he didn't get hurt. But yeah. With that Achilles, he's probably going to be out most of the year.
In my head, I was like, they could have Thibodeau and Ojabo on that defensive line, and it'd be nasty.
Yo, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I think you got to address what you need, and you need another corner.
Yeah.
Okudah really hasn't proved himself yet, but he also has been hurt.
He's been hurt and like hasn't been able to stay on the field. And then I don't remember who their other guy is, but he's just trash.
Hot garbage. It's Detroit.
Yeah. But Motor City Dan Campbell will get it figured out. We are running out of time. So any last thoughts, guys?
Hey, it was fun doing another draft this year. let's see how we do. I think we'll do better than Mel Kiper and Todd McShay this year, boys.
I think we're all going to do better than Mel Kiper and Todd McShay.
Somebody need to be paid for this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully this turns into something black owned. If you're looking for sponsorship.
Yeah, Mountain Dew, give me some free stuff.
Not the Flamin' Hot. Do not do the Flamin' Hot.
Yeah. Oh, that's disgusting. Why did they make that? Who was calling for that? Who's like, you know what? I want my Mountain Dew to be spicy.
Dummies.
I don't know.
Keep it original. That's all you gotta do.
Although we probably
go ahead, Justin. Your
I said we probably did just burn the Mountain Dew bridge there with that one.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Give this video a like on YouTube, comment on YouTube. We need a little bit more activity there. Give us a shout out. Tell us what you want to see this upcoming season. Tell us your thoughts. They may make it into the show. To the 5 people who are still probably watching, most of them probably my family. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.